I guess I'll pull myself away from this fire and go make some dinner. Hi, I'm Trish. Welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight, I'm finally going to show you what we do with all those bread scraps that we save. I bake fresh bread every Tuesday, and sometimes I have leftovers from the previous week that I don't want to throw out because they're still good. So I cube them up and put them into a freezer bag, and at the end of the week, sometimes the end of the month, I put them into other recipes. Tonight, we're going to use bread scraps and make French onion soup. All you need is, of course, your bread scraps that you already have in the freezer. You need a sweet onion. You'll want some cornstarch that you've mixed with cold water, because if you use hot water, it's going to make it lumpy. And you want either some beef broth or vegetable broth, as I've used in this case. I use Better Than bouillon and just make it according to the package directions. Let's get started. You can use any meltable cheese. I have chosen Swiss, Colby Jack, and Monterey for tonight. I have seen mozzarella and Parmesan commonly used. Sometimes I throw in provolone. If you have a convection oven, turn it on 450 and put the rack in the center. If you have a regular oven, turn it on broil. Of course, we're starting with my favorite ingredient, the butter. Let's put that in our cast iron skillet and turn it on medium heat. When that starts to melt, we're going to add our onions. I've sliced my onion into coins. I like longer threads rather than a diced onion for this because it will help hold the croutons up. While the onions saute, I'm going to start the soup broth. My onions have started to become translucent. There's a little tiny bit of brown on here. Those are just about ready to go into the soup base. Of course, we're still whisking our soup base over here. You'll know that this is ready when it starts to become a little more translucent and turn somewhat darker in color. My onions are perfect, so I'm going to turn off the heat. If you're using a vegetable-based bouillon and you really want this to taste authentic, you can add a little bit of red wine. Or a lot. It's your choice. You can see this is coming to a boil and it is starting to thicken up a little bit. We don't want it like gravy, we just want it thick enough to hold our croutons. If you were here, you could feel that this is thicker than when we started, and it's a lot darker too. This is a good point to add our onions. And we don't want to clean the pan because we are going to turn the heat back on and we're going to put our croutons in there. But first, we're going to add more butter. Always more butter. If you're cooking one of my recipes and you're wondering, do I need more butter? The answer is always yes. Adding butter is never a wrong decision. We'll add our breadcrumbs. I'm also going to add a little bit of garlic. When you eat a plant-based diet, I think it's especially important to make use of spices. So now we are toasting these and we are making croutons. The soup base is perfect. So now we can turn that off and let that rest. How to assemble our soup. We're going to take our base and we'll ladle it into the bowls. You'll want to put this on a baking sheet. It makes it so much easier to maneuver these in and out of your oven when it's hot. So you see how it's a little bit thicker and some of the onions are coming to the top. That's going to help hold the croutons up. Want to Sprinkle your croutons on there. Hopefully they don't sink. Frying them in garlic butter really adds a lot. It really enhances the flavor. And it's a really simple and economic soup to make. Onions don't cost much. You can grow those in your backyard. And everybody has bread scraps and bouillon. So the only expensive part is the cheese. I'm going to lay that on like that. And we will put this under the broiler. I have my convection oven set to 450. This is the broil setting in a conventional oven. I'm going to slide this tray in here. You do want to make sure that you have oven-safe bowls. Most of them are, but it's good to check because it's kind of a surprise when you put one in that isn't oven safe and it explodes on you. That likely will not need 15 minutes, but I'm going to give it 5 and check back on it. Isn't this gorgeous? It's perfect. Just the right amount of brown. Of course, I wouldn't think of serving something that did have a little bit extra on it. So I'm going to sprinkle some green on top of here. Gives it a little bit of color, makes it more fun. You're all set. Look how easy that was. You could absolutely do that on a Tuesday night. That is a work night kind of meal that you can put together, and it looks so impressive and it tastes delicious. Bon appetit.